What's up, guys? Just rolled back into India. I had a fabulous, well, just a night trip in Nashville. Totally random. Hello to all my new people here. I haven't done a video in a while, but I had lots and lots of questions, as well as current client consultation calls on fasting. So I want to talk about that today and the mistakes that y'all are making. Had lots of questions about how I incorporate fasting, if I fast, if I do extended fasting, if you're doing a keto or carnivore diet, like, do you have to fast? Like, is it required? Do I need to fast to see, fat loss results, yada, whatever. Guys, there's a million different ways you can do fasting, and fasting isn't a dirty word, just like macros, tracking macros, isn't a bad thing. It's all in your application of things. And all fasting really means, guys, is a period of not eating, followed by a period that you're eating. Like, you guys don't need to make things difficult and overcomplicate things. I do not do extended fasting, so let's talk about what I do real quick. Don't do extended fasting. I don't feel that it's necessary. I'm just chilling in maintenance. I don't have any aesthetic goals or body goals or performance goals. Like, it's just longevity, guys. And that's where most of you guys should be. You guys should be eating your maintenance calories, just doing whatever works for you. Again, no need to overcomplicate things. You don't always have to have a body goal. I'd say naturally my fasts are probably anywhere from like 14 to 20 hours most of the time, and it just depends on my schedule. If I work like a 12-hour shift, I typically eat at least 2 meals. I eat 2 to 2.5 pounds of meat most of the time. If I have to, or if I get to, sleep in the morning, say I don't have to work a 12-hour shift, or I work like an afternoon, and I work in radiology, for those of you who don't know me or who are brand new here, and we do 12-hour shifts. If I get to sleep in, and I can usually get away with doing OMAD, and I may fast a little bit longer because I'll push my morning workouts a little bit later. So typically, like, if I'm doing a 12-hour shift, I work out fasted at 5 a.m. the majority of the time. It's just what I prefer to do, and then I eat my largest meal afterwards. Now, I don't force any of those. It's just kind of, my natural, like, hunger and satiety cues. Like, you learn to listen to your body after a while. So that's kind of what I do there. You guys can slide into those DMs, ask me other questions if you want, or we can schedule a consultation call, like if it requires like more in-depth, like looking at your logs, more complicated questions, things like that. But I wanted to touch on fasting and what you guys are doing wrong. Okay, so you don't have to do it. It doesn't matter if you're carnivore, keto, whatever diet you do. Like, fasting's not required. You don't have to do it at all if you don't want to. But I got off of a client consultation call yesterday, actually, on my way to Nashville, and she was having trouble sleeping. I'm trying to remember all this stuff like off the top of my head. So trouble sleeping, couldn't really understand why, fatigue, like normal stuff that we run into. And we call that biofeedback. So like your energy level, how good your sleep is, if your periods are normal, performance in the gym, your mood, like all these things. It's like an umbrella term. We call it as nutrition coaches, like biofeedback. Very, very important. These are things that you guys always need to be monitoring and paying attention to, because they're going to give you like the puzzle pieces to know like what's working and what's not. All right, so let's touch on what this particular client was doing wrong, because I think you guys can learn from this, and I don't want to make this video super duper long. Okay, so she was having trouble sleeping, and we had to go over her history and what she had currently been doing, as far as daily calories, what's your activity level, what's your medical history, do we have any other issues that we need to talk about? And she said she had been doing the protein sparing modified fasts. Okay, nothing wrong with doing those. And just a little general background, if you don't know what that is, that's when you drop your calories significantly low, Like most people are like 500 to 800 calories, and really all you eat is lean protein. So you cut all your carbs out in like very, very, very minimal fat. You drop your fat super duper low. All right. So recipe for disaster here. Okay. So if you have a significant amount of weight to lose, that's why you're doing the protein sparing modified fast. So dropping your calories down significantly low, all right, by cutting fats, carbs, and just eating lean protein. All right, some of you can get away with doing that if you have a lot of weight to lose and you have a lot of extra body fat on your body, okay? Because you've got extra stores there for your body to use. Now, say someone fairly lean, so let's just take myself, all right? I'm probably 16-17% body fat, which is fairly low for an individual. I weigh 105 pounds. I don't have a lot of extra body fat. So why do I want to drop my calories down that low if I don't need to? Or if you are one of like normal size, okay? Because we always have this mentality of we need to do more and we need to eat less, okay? So I talked to her, I was like, all right, so what are you consuming on a daily basis, like as far as calories? Because that's important, and that's why I have you guys track, because you gotta know these things. She's like, oh, like maybe 1,400 calories. That's what I have it set at. I'm like, okay. I was like, well, how long have you been eating that? You know, because maybe she just dropped it down, you know, your story, all of this stuff matters. She's like, no, I've been eating this for like about a year. Guys, you gotta stop doing this. You gotta stop under eating. Like 1,400 calories. One really is like what a toddler maybe would survive on. Just to throw that out there. All right, any like avid exerciser, you know, an active female that's getting 10 to 15,000 steps. Most of you get around 10. You know, you're exercising 3, 4, 5 times a week. Say you got a stressful job, you're running around chasing kids. Like most of you guys should be eating your normal maintenance level as far as what you should be consuming on a daily basis is probably anywhere from like 1,800 to probably 2,100 plus, even more for athletes that are super duper active. To put that like in perspective, all right, I'm 5'1", 105 pounds, I work out 5 days a week, I get 10 to 15,000 steps a day, I have an active job in healthcare, I maintain my weight on about 2,000 calories a day. 2,000. So you guys can eat, just to put it in perspective. Okay, so let me explain. So she's having trouble sleeping, and I told her this because her body is like starving for food. All right, because really ideally she should probably be consuming, like for her particular situation, I would say her maintenance calories are probably around 1,850. And she's like, are you kidding me? And I was like, yes, girl. And you should only be dieting, like ever dropping your calories down that low, like specifically for a diet. So you shouldn't be dieting any more than 1 to 2 times a year for no longer than 12 to 16 weeks is what I prefer. The rest of the time, you should be like just chilling in maintenance, like eating food, all right? Most of you are probably around 2,000 calories really for maintenance if you're active. You know, sedentary people, you're gonna be a little bit lower, and I can help you guys calculate these if you don't know. But so I explained to her she's stalling, she's not seeing results. She's waking up in the middle of the night and she's tired all the time because she's not eating, and she's trying to do these fasts, like more than she needs to during the week, on top of not raising your calories back up to what you should be eating. All right, so not only are her hormones a mess, because one, you're cutting your fat out, you're already cutting calories, which is over stressing your body. Like your fat content, like those are the precursors to your hormones, guys. You gotta have adequate fat. I don't ever like to see my females ever drop below 30 grams of fat, ever. So more is not more, okay? Like you guys need to chill out. So use fasting appropriately. Like make sure that you are eating your maintenance calories for an extended period of time. And if you haven't been, you've been dieting excessively, you need to go through a period called a reverse diet, which is just raising your calories up to what you should be eating, like to your maintenance levels. And you guys can do these slowly, and I understand they're mentally tough, but it's something you have to do. So she's waking up in the middle of the night because her cortisol level, which is your stress hormone, is spiking. It's waking her up. I went through this too when I was cutting for a photo shoot, and my calories were significantly low, and I was trying to fast longer overnight. My body was stressed up. I was waking up in the middle of the night starving. It's your body waking you up because you're hungry, yo. You need to eat. She's like, well, I didn't even know that it was doing that. And I was like, yeah, that's why you're waking up. That's why you have no energy. So we put her on a protocol to do a reverse diet to help out with that. So guys, you don't have to fast at all. Okay, you don't have to do extended fasting. Most people do fine fasting just like 12 hours overnight. All right, they do help. Fasting does help with gut issues, like for specific situations. Some people like alternate day fasting, like guys, and everyone's different. And us as females, like we are more sensitive to fasting and stressors on our body than men. We are. If you cut all the carbohydrates out, which do help battle your cortisol level, and they will help lower those down. You know, for those of us who don't have any physical or mental issues with carbohydrates, like there's really no need, and especially if you're an athlete or you're working out a lot, there's no need to cut carbs out if you don't have to. So no diet dogma, but stop overly fasting all of the time and stressing your body out and under eating all of the time, thinking that you're gonna see better fat loss results, because it's biting you in the ass. All right, so just preaching about you don't have to fast if you don't want to. You know, if you're finding yourself waking up in the middle of the night and you're trying to do all of these like low calorie fasts and all this stuff, and just stop overcomplicating things. Like, feed your body. That will solve the majority of your problems. Stick to food that doesn't cause any issues for you mentally or physically. Fucking eat food, guys. You can eat food, okay? It's okay. And then once you've done the due diligence to heal your metabolic issues, get your energy right, get your periods back, all of this stuff, and you set yourself up for a successful fat loss cut, it's gonna happen so much easier. I promise. I promise. But I just wanted to get on here and preach. Like, if you guys are doing these, you know, extended fasting techniques and the protein sparing modified fasts, and you're having issues, look at what you're consuming. Because 9 times out of 10, like, if you're having issues, it's because you're not appropriately giving your body the food it needs or the recovery that it needs. And sleep is everything. Y'all gotta sleep. That's really, really important and a non-negotiable too. So I think those were the big things I wanted to touch on and preach on. So if you guys are having any issues with fasting or want to know more, I am putting a guide together. I'll get that out like eventually. And then I'll post it on the feed for y'all. So I hope this helped. My random conversations. I'm super random when it comes to videos. I hope you guys learned something. I love y'all. Hope you're all having a fantastic holiday weekend. And if you wonder where the heck I'm at Hot Works, getting my recovery in because I've had a long weekend. And I'm gonna go to bed early tonight. So peace out, guys. I love y'all. My DMs are always open. Bye-bye.